As we've said, one of the great things about Couchbase is that not only is it scalable, it's easy. So we're going to take a look at how do you manipulate data from Node.js using Nickel queries. Well, Nickel is SQL for JSON. I mean, come on, you already know this. So what is Nickel and where can you learn more about it? Well, Nickel is a superset of structured query language, but it's focused on JSON, not old style table schema. So it allows you to query nested multidimensional data. You can even index the arrays within your documents. It allows you to query heterogeneous semi-structured data because, well, this is flexibly schemed JSON, and so it supports operators like isMissing, because your schema may well evolve over the course of time and some attributes may or may not be present in certain iterations of your documents. It also allows you to query scalably distributed data with efficient global secondary indexing. There's a lot more about this in CB30 and CB110, our other online courses. Go take a look. But Nickel is already familiar to you. Select, insert, update, delete. Join documents. Where, having, group by, creating and dropping indexes, min, max, count, and several dozen more functions and operators. It's a very thorough superset of structured query language. It allows you to simplify your code using a well-known syntax. And there are native SDKs for 7+ languages. I say plus because the nature of our CSDK and its relationship with Node, as you might expect, means that it plays a couple of roles. But we also have ODBC and JDBC drivers to support data visualization and analysis tools for your end users. If you want to learn more about Nickel, take our online course, Intro to Nickel for SQL People. We've also got our Intro to Data Modeling in JSON, which has a tight relationship with that content. As you know, you can find it right here, which is where you are right now. And of course, we also have strong documentation to support all of this. So as we said, Nickel is a superset of structured query language. So that means its core syntax is very similar, like select, insert, update, and delete. So here, if I wanted to select a JSON document, all attributes of a JSON document by its ID, select star from my bucket, and there's an operator, use keys. It performs a specific document lookup for one or a series of documents if you pass it an array, similar to a get operation, extremely fast because of the cache-oriented architecture of Couchbase. But you can also add n number of filters. So I could select particular attributes from my bucket, like first name, last name, where apply a couple of filters, where perhaps the type attribute is customer, and the nested country attribute within my billing address is some value. Notice a parameter is being passed there. We'll look at that shortly. You can also insert documents as you'd expect. Insert into my bucket using a key value pattern a series of values. Again, with parameters, we'll be looking at all of this as an actual implementation shortly. JSON can also update values, update a particular document, setting particular attributes to particular values. Again, this should be familiar, just kind of turn your head sideways and think in terms of JSON rather than a table. Last, delete, well, how easy is that? Delete from a bucket using a particular document ID. Now, this barely scratches the beginning of what you can do with Nickel. Again, please go out and take a look at our online course, which will take you much further down the road, but Nickel goes even further than you'll find there. Explore our documentation or take our live classroom training to dive deeply into Nickel and data modeling in JSON. So how do you go about building and using a Nickel query from Node.js? Well, as you might expect, it's the Couchbase module that provides the support. The Couchbase module is going to expose a Nickel query object. Grab it here and assign a local reference. And while there are various ways to build up a Nickel query using this object, the way we'll focus on here is straightforward. Build it up from a string. So here we see we're building a string, select 3 attributes from the Customer 360 bucket, and apply a couple of filters where type is customer and some value nested within that document, billing address.country, is some parameter. Keep your eye on the parameters here for a moment. So the query object is then passed to the query operation on the bucket itself. The second argument to the query operation is an array of parameters, numerically indexed parameters, that are then passed into the query itself. What you get back in the callback is an error. If there's an error, you might get your syntax wrong. It happens. And the second parameter is your rows. You're going to get back an array of 0 or more JSON documents from your bucket that respond to this query, just as you would get back rows if you executed a query against a traditional old-style relational database. So in our lab, we're going to walk you through doing a select, insert, update, and delete in response to REST requests. Essentially, you're going to rewrite the last lab, but this time you're using Nickel. Now, I hope you don't stop here. Do go out and take our Nickel course and learn just how powerful an approach this is to working with your data. Obviously, it's powerful. Everybody knows SQL. But now you have this power with the flexibility and scalability of JSON documents. When you come back from that, we're going to take a turn and start looking at the Ottoman object document mapping system, which provides a powerful framework for designing models and handling your indexing directly inside your Node code. Lots more ahead. Come on back.